Alrighty, hello everybody and welcome back to Jay's one key event for The Great Escape. We are back again to wrap up the finals bracket. We have one more regular match left to go before we head into those conditionals, and it's going to be a battle of who goes up against Spanner Dude tomorrow. It's going to either be Sleeby Maddy or their neighbor, Zoobin4. I feel this is going to be one of the greatest matches we will see in JOKE4, just of how stacked these two players are. So stacked that I can't do this alone. Joining me in the commentary booth is going to be treeidk. How's it going?
Doing absolutely fantastic. I hope everyone is just as excited as we are for this match. As you mentioned before, it is the final match of finals. Yep, that's a lot of finals in one sentence. But the point being, it should be an exciting match, and yeah.
Yeah, the final regular match of this finals weekend before we get some of those conditionals in for the losers bracket players. And also, I believe this will determine... this will determine... I was going to talk about podium placements, but I don't think... I think whoever wins their losers conditional will make their podium spot, but just one step closer in that direction. And these two players have absolutely dominated their own bracket so far. I mean, we don't really need to speak on about Maddy's run throughout this tournament. It's been absolutely insane. Upset after upset, tiebreaker after tiebreaker has been basically defining or like redefining all odds here.
Yeah, certainly so. I mean, an amazing performance from them. And to be honest, I'm excited to just see what they can pull off during this match. I mean, both players have pretty good chances of moving on and maybe even securing that podium. Whoever wins already has a guaranteed second place, if I'm not wrong.
I believe that would have to be if they win the losers grand finals match, which that's a long ways. That's a long ways from now. But I believe whoever wins their conditional match against Spanner Dude, or whoever comes out of this losers finals bracket victorious, will take that final podium placement. Right now, it is Grape Team HZ with the 2 podium spots, and one more remains. And one of these players, alongside Spanner Dude, is looking to be the last.
That should be exciting. Anyway, Rice won String Fiercy by Millie.
Yeah, this is a pretty short or pretty long map, pretty swingy. So nothing really extreme that these players have experienced in this tournament, or just in Joke in general, but the map has definitely gotten a lot harder in contrast to previous weeks. I think both these players kind of acknowledged just how hard they've really gotten over the time being. And right now, this is a pretty close lead here. Zoobin only ahead by roughly 1,000 points into a little bit of a LN break section here.
And not much going on right now, only a really slight lead, as you mentioned, from Zoobin. Both players holding about equal accuracies, only being split by 0.1. Not a lot going on so far.
Yeah, they have really been keeping things very, very close in this first half here, and heading into the back half now. Zoobin ahead by just roughly 1.3k. Maddy has known to sweep or just to like pull the rug if their opponent finds any form of slip up in general when it comes to any form of mistake. But Maddy actually gonna find a couple 200s here that will up the lead by roughly 5,000 points in favor of Zoobin here.
Certainly so. There's still 1/4 of the map left, so a lot of things can still happen, but right now Zoobin looking pretty comfortable on this map. Leading by 5.5 thousand, well, now, yeah, about 5,000 points.
Yeah, right now they are currently leading by quite a bit here, but there is still a bit of map left to go. That is roughly a miss of differential. And also a fun fact, excluding One Key World Cup, neither every single player in the losers bracket, so Zoobin, Maddy, and Spaniard, have never reached a podium spot in Joke history, excluding One Key World Cup because that was team based, and also excluding Sparks' 2-key event. These players never touched the Joke podium.
Pretty interesting. I did not know that. Maybe, just maybe this year, they'll finally reach that slot. But yeah, it does seem like Zoobin will be taking this point by approximately, what, 6,000 points? Something like that.
Yeah, around 5.1k points, just around a miss of difference. And you can really see it was just mainly off of those 200s, Zoobin getting into single digits here. That ratio not too far off from each other here. And also Maddy picking up a bit of an extra 50 there, I believe. And it is her pick, so there is nothing to really sweat about. There's a lot more long notes and hybrids in this pool than we've seen before. There's like 6 hybridish / LN maps in total, and I believe if I were to be if I were to be Maddy here, I would definitely take advantage of those. And yep, going to start things off here with Hybrid 1.
Hybrid 1, Reckless by Rejection. An amazing song, I must say.
This song is a absolute banger.
Yeah, in terms of patterns, nothing really special, just a little bit higher DPM than the previous pools, but you know, that's to be expected as we go up into the rounds.
Yeah, definitely. These players really have been in the scene for a while, so they really have to adapt to the difficulty scaling that these maps really have to just give to them. And right now, it's going to be interesting to see how they will adapt to this. Like, I believe it was said in the showcase, this is like JOKE4 Grand Finals level already, which technically, like I said, excluding the One Key World Cups, this is like the hardest Joke has ever been, excluding the like team-based stuff, just based off Joke.
So, I mean, it is to be expected, to be honest, but maybe, you know, next year this will be like semifinals.
Yeah, really turning up the heat to 11 on some of these picks, but aiming for an LN approach, definitely Maddy does definitely excel a lot better in an LN / hybrid range, just purely off of that release aspect. So maybe just gonna test the waters here with a hybrid and see how things go, because there's a lot more hybrids than there are long notes, and you don't want to end up maybe risking the bit on some of the hybrids. And Zoobin actually going to pick up the first break here on that burst into the drop. This is a very short map, so misses are crucial, but there's so much note density to where that 400 combo cap won't really be that much of an issue. But Zoobin now finding a lot more combo drops here. They're down in that 99.2 range. Another break for them. They're in the 98 range, and Maddy having full control now. 26,000 points and climbing now.
For some really unfortunate misses from him. I mean, yeah, giving Sleepy Maddy a massive lead of 34,000 points, and with the combo cap not being reached by Zoobin yet. I mean, what can he really do? There's still 1 quarter left, but unless Sleepy Maddy messes up big time, I don't see him taking this point.
It takes a lot for a player like Maddy to mess up. She is such a consistent player at whatever is thrown at her, and same with Zoobin, but they do tend to crack under the pressure, especially with the more long note oriented picks. So I think maybe Maddy just trying to capitalize off of that opportunity here, and Zoobin, although trying the hardest, there's still a high 98 is very good for a map pool like this. It's just when you're going up against one of the greats in the long note industry, absolute god tier gameplay from both sides, and Maddy with the FC, that is insane. This is beyond a JOKE4 levels, like I said. What are we doing?
It's just amazing to see these kind of performances coming out from these players. I mean, it just brings joy to my heart and just in general to see what these players can perform even under pressure.
Yeah, just insane efforts from both sides. And yet again, that ratio really coming down to the line here. It was only a difference from not too much, actually. And Zoobin's pick now gonna stick to the hybrid vein, it looks like, as they're going to go for hybrid 3. They're gonna go for pink origins here.
Hybrid. We do have one, as you mentioned previously, a lot of hybrids, a lot of allies. So pretty long note heavy map hole, if I must say. Yeah, let's see what he can do. He did lose the other hybrid, but maybe, just maybe, it was on due to nerves and stuff like that.
Yeah, now that maybe Zoobin got some of the nerves out, kind of probably has have the blueprint kind of filled out here. Maybe back to 100 here for this next pick here. It's going to be Pink Origins Hybrid 3. So the past hybrid didn't really go well in Zoobin's favor, but this one could potentially. And I mean, there is this map is a bit longer, and we'll definitely test a bit more of that consistency component. But I think maybe Zoobin has things down up to a T, and I believe this is all a bit more of a rice-oriented hybrid map, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, it should be if I'm not wrong, but yeah, as we enter the first kind of faster patterns, nothing happening yet, only leading by about 1,500 points, I would say, from Sleeby Maddy.
Yeah, Maddy, but Maddy's gonna actually pick up the first break here on that burst. I mean, these are some very nasty, very fast like gallops here and bursts that you really have to adjust to. And Maddy gonna be the first to drop here. Zoobin now having a bit of a commanding lead here, but there is still map left to go. And I mean, with that gave Zoobin 11,000 points in their favor. But we still have this back half to go, and it's practically almost the same here. Lots of these bursts that could throw off players if you're not careful. And here we go. A lot more LN based too, so Maddy could potentially find some ways to catch up here.
It's still quite a bit of map left, 1/3 left, and right now both players have reached the combo cap once again, so now it's all about the ratio and the question, can Zoobin hold on for the rest of the map?
Yeah, now heading into the final quarter. Maddy gonna pick up another break here. That will give this lead to Zoobin even more now. 27,000 points in their favor, and there's not really much map left to go. You really have this outro, and right now it's not even that hard of an ending. It's just these LNs here, and Zoobin here going to take the lead here off of their own pick, and it's going to be 1-2 here for Zoobin.
Again, what a score from Zoobin. Just insane, mind-blowing even.
Yeah, like I said, these two players, absolute gauntlets at the one key scene, and definitely seeing how close this was. If have both players FC'd, it would have still went to Zoobin, but not by much. That's only 200s of difference, and even then, that's only an 86 300 difference. These two players are absolute neck and neck. It's the difference of just those tiny mistakes that either of these players find that really is the root cause of it all.
Yeah, I mean, the consistency of these players is just unmatched. But it does seem like Sleeby Maddy will be going for that ping 2 by Excel. Okay, why not 1?
Yeah, and as everyone's getting their Discord calls right now, getting baited by this map.
Yeah, I remember like in what was it, 2020 3, I used to listen to this exact song quite a bit, and you know, it is a banger, but I might have over-listened to it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I definitely get that in. Looks like these players are ready to go, and here we are underway with LN1, Maddy's first pick in the LN pool. And it makes sense, honestly. I thought this LN pool would come out a bit later. I thought she would maybe stay in that hybrid zone, or she does tend to also hang around that speed zone. But I think if you're going up against a player like Zoobin, you might want to avoid the speed picks here and just stay within that mid-range of the pool, as Zoobin is a very, very good speed player, one of the best in their own game here. And right now, Zoobin dropping a bit of early 200s on these little timing changes here with these LNs that will give Maddy just the tiniest bit of lead to open up this map.
Just a little bit unprepared, it seemed like. But, oh, there goes Zoobin. That is the first miss of this map pretty early on. A little bit unfortunate, but hey, there is still practically the whole map left to go, so, you know, still time to come back from that.
Yeah, these flams are absolutely brutal to nail down to a T if you're not careful. And those bursts to accompany it after, and all that to hold down that one LN to make sure you don't absolutely find slider breaks, just forget to hit it. And Zoobin right now really finding no comfort at all in these LNs, as there's another break from them. They're down in that low 98 range, 30,000 points in favor of Maddy right now, as she's holding a near 99.5 right now.
On this map, that is quite mind-blowing. It's pretty impressive. But yeah, hey, there's still half the map left, so I'll stop my glazing and, you know, move on.
Yeah, there is still map to go, and this is the prime opportunity for Zoobin to reach that 400 combo cap here, as it is a little bit of a break section, so you have time to recover.
Yep, get your nerves in order to enter the next part of the map.
And just waiting for things to really ramp up here.
And here we go.
And heading underway into the second part and the last part of the map here. And as long as there's one break from Maddy, but that was a very clean one as well. And you're gonna have to do a lot more than that to really swing that lead in favor of Zoobin. And I mean, there is still map to go, but Zoobin will trade that break back. But so will Maddy, and that was a very detrimental one as well. That's 8,000 points now of difference, and there is still map. This doesn't end, but I don't think that will be enough. It looked very dicey there at the end, but Maddy's still staying on top. Just barely, though. That could have been a recipe for disaster, but Maddy manages to lay the blueprint down and tie things up at 2. Wow.
He had me on the edge of my seat at the ending. Holy moly, I did not expect that big of a break. Almost giving Zoobin the chance to take it back, but yeah, it did seem like Sleepy Maddy did pull through and gonna take their point.
Yeah, Maddy avoiding the break point here, as that ending is very brutal to really get down to a T if you're not careful enough. But Zoobin now up to bat here on what they want to pick. I could definitely see one of the speed picks come out here. I think maybe they would want to take their shot at that. I feel Rice 3 would be a bit too much of a gamble. And yeah, they are going to go for the speed pick here. They're going to opt for speed 1 here. And this definitely makes sense. Well, like I said, Zoobin, one of the best speed players in this current game right now, can really do anything, really, when it comes to the Rice pool. They can play some of the most extremely messed up technical patterns that is thrown at them, but so can Maddy. It's basically one of those situations where these players can pretty much do anything.
Yeah, it does seem like both players are pretty evenly matched. And it's just about the consistency. How consistently can they play these maps?
Yeah, and here we go with a very, very brutal opening here, and both those players nailing that opening. And I mean, a map like this, maybe Zoobin trying to see if Maddy has hit some form of skill cap here, because this could definitely be the place where skill caps get reached, are definitely on these speed picks. We have a 300 BPM speed map in this pool, but I mean, both those players absolutely breezing through that intro, and right now it is pretty much anyone's game here as Zoobin starts to get a bit of a lead here as Maddy picks up a few 200s, but we still have plenty of map left to go.
Only 1/4 has passed, and so far only winning by about 900 points. Anything can change. Zoobin did find 1 or 2 200s, but that's just going to even out the playing field a little bit for both players. So far, no misses, no real backdrops.
Yeah, Zoobin really misreading those swing patterns, like those doublets said, finding a bit of 200s there, and that will drop their act down by a bit, but only by just a smudge here, as it is still anyone's game here, as Maddy is ahead by almost 2,000 points here, as we head into a very tricky speed section. Zoobin picks up a couple 200s that will give the lead to Maddy even more now. Now 8,000 points as Zoobin finds a rush of 200s on that LN section. There is still a third left to go, but Maddy is almost at a 99.8 right now.
With the lead being 10,000 points, there is still 1/4 left. Yes, that is true, but Zoobin has to walk in, just pray that Sleeby Maddy finds some 200s, maybe even a miss. But right now, it does seem like Sleeby Maddy is pretty damn comfortable on this pick.
Yeah, Maddy is really just taking the money and running with only about 6 of the map left to go, but there could be a disaster just waiting to be unfolded here if these players are not careful, as this ending is pretty brutal, but both players pretty much breezing through it, and if the pattern stays that way, Maddy will be taking the first break point of this match, this final stream. Zoobin will get caught up, but it's not gonna matter. Maddy with a 992 on this map.
Wow. It's just impressive. Yeah, just a little bit of a, interesting pick. Both players had a chance to take it, just stepping on a minefield on those patterns. Zoobin did find a few 200s, and that's all it took for Sleeby Maddy to take the point. Holy moly.
This is finals, by the way. We shouldn't be seeing 992s. 1 in 200, by the way, in finals. That is insane. To the map pooling team, you're gonna have to really step it up if we ever do a JOKE4.
Yeah, honestly, just make tiebreaker. Sorry, not tiebreaker. Make grand finals pool just wildfires. Trust.
Yep. And Hybrid 4 gonna be the pick here from Maddy, and I mean, yeah, if there was a hybrid that I could see Maddy trying to capitalize off of, it would definitely be this one. This map is absolutely unforgiving. Do not let the song choice throw you off guard. This map is hard.
It doesn't sound easy. But anyway, yeah, this is a pretty nice chance for Sleeby Maddy to extend their lead by 1 point. If they do find that point, it will be a 2-point lead, making Zoobin's life just a little bit harder.
Yeah, this is a very crucial break point here for Maddy, as if they capitalize off of this, that will be huge, as this has been definitely one of those runs where kind of both players take their own pick until one like breakpoint happens and kind of a monkey wrench just gets thrown into the match. But I mean, all it takes is one breakpoint back in Zoobin's favor, and we have a whole new game at stake here.
Definitely so.
And here we go. Underway with Hybrid 4, Future Candy. There's a lot
Actually-
of flams in this map.
Yep. It is a slightly longer map than what we have seen previously from the other maps, as they all were like 2 minutes, 2 minutes 30. This one is coming in at 3 minutes and 5 seconds.
I think we put it in the map. I think Sparks put it in the map showcase as, think of it as Pump It number 2, which really fits the description here. And Zoobin gonna put an early break here, but like you mentioned, this map is quite lengthy in contrast to some other maps we have here, so not the biggest of concerns, but Zoobin's also finding a lot of accuracy drops here. This opening really not finding much comfort for them, but here comes the first flam section of the map. Could be a slip up for any of these players, but right now they're both nailing it.
Yeah, so far, the only thing that's really separating these players is that early miss from Zoobin.
Yeah, and even then, we still have plenty of map left to go, so that lead will begin to shrink, but Zoobin really needs to capitalize off of just climbing that accuracy back. There is still very tricky sections of this map to go. This is probably the least of these players' concerns. As, Zoobin transitioning into this next section will find a break.
Yeah, just a little bit unfortunate. Right now, Sleepy Maddy is just capitalizing on that miss from Zoobin, just extending the score lead even further. Also, just holding a way, well, I wouldn't say way bigger accuracy advantage, but, you know, slightly bigger.
But there is still a third of the map left to go. 18,000 points. We saw what happened, I believe, I think it was LN1. Things almost went to absolute disaster at the ending, and this map definitely has a very brutal ending, if I do say so. So no one's lead here is safe.
Zoobin didn't find a miss on practically nothing, but again, 1/4 left. Things can turn around, and Sleeby Maddy finding that miss, but will be enough for Zoobin to take advantage of that.
We're gonna have to see another one. We're gonna have to see another one, but Zoobin, a very nasty break here, but here comes the ending. Maddy's gonna find a break, but we're gonna have to see more if Zoobin wants a shot to take a break point back in their favor, as although Maddy is finding there's more breaks coming out of Maddy, but I don't think it's gonna matter as their accuracy is very strong, ahead of Zoobin still. And heading into the final section, it will not matter. And Maddy is gonna go up now, 4-2.
What a brutal ending from this map. Like, both players finding a lot of misses during that ending portion, which just shows you how hard this pick was. But yeah, Sleepy Maddy with the 2-point advantage now. Zoobin being a little bit under pressure to perform on the next map.
It is Zoobin's pick, but I think they're gonna have to look at a different angle. Instead of going to exhaust that speed pool, I think you go for one of the rices. The question is though, which rice map do you want to go for? I think rice 3 is chaotic evil. So, but if Zoobin has those timings down on Pioneer 4, it is like, if you look at the artist name, you know exactly what I mean. But they're actually gonna go for Hybrid 2.
Wasn't expecting that, but hey, if it works, it works.
I mean, we did see Zoobin go after Pink Origins, and I believe that went in their favor. Yes, it did. So maybe this hybrid pick will go in their favor as well, as this is a very crucial map they need to take, as they cannot afford another breakpoint in favor of Maddy, as Maddy is only 1 point away from a match point situation, and that will be even more detrimental to Zoobin here. But we're gonna have to see how this one will turn out, as both players are ready to go.
Zoobin cannot afford to lose this. That would be quite disastrous for him.
It will be a very disastrous effort, but here we go. Hybrid 2 underway as Zoobin is looking to keep things still within a point of range. It is definitely possible. We saw how Pink Origins went for Zoobin, and they did pick that map. So it could repeat, but here we go.
And both players doing pretty similarly entering the map. No misses, no real 200s, only being separated by 0.1 combo, not combo advantage, accuracy advantage.
Yeah, this map is a lot more bare bones. There's not really much complexity in contrast to some of the other hybrids we have, just pure bursts. But Zoobin picking up a few breaks here, and I mean, it's really those speedy bursts and these doublets that are really throwing them off here. And that's 13,000 points in favor of Maddy, but it will stay at that. And Zoobin has a lot of map to climb up their combo, but it's just the accuracy is really settling the difference here. Zoobin needs to climb that accuracy back up fast.
Yeah, right now it's just the big, like, there's a big fat question being posed, and that's the question: can Zoobin climb back up, and will Maddy pull through?
And right now she's at a 99.8 right now, heading into the back half of the map. So I think, oh, but there's a slider break, I think, or some form of miss on the side of Zoobin. And that will just give Maddy a 20,000 point lead now in their favor here. As we're down to the final third, there are still a lot of these pretty fast bursts, though. Some flams. This is a section that's easily chokeable, but Maddy and Zoobin will go unfazed.
Yeah, not looking too great for Zoobin at the moment. Still being separated by that 24,000 point score difference. And, you know, there's not a lot of the map left, but it is still possible for him to take it if Maddy messes up.
But there's only just so much little map left to go. I don't think there's enough time for Zoobin to get any form of lead back, as Maddy has been absolutely dialed in for this pick. And Maddy now on a very crucial breakpoint at a match point situation.
Yeah, this is quite... Go on.
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, you're good. Go on.
4 unanswered points in a row for Maddy, and now only needs one more to punch a ticket into their conditional against Spanner Dude.
Not looking too great for Zoobin at the moment. He can still, in theory, pull through, but he has to win 2 crucial breakpoints if he wants to do that. And right now, with Sleeby Maddy's pick and her being on that match point situation, it's going to be quite an uphill battle.
I mean, LN2 is still on the board. There is still Speed 2. I think it's either LN2 or Speed 2 we see come from Maddy, I think. I don't think she wants to challenge the rice pool. It would be very funny if it did, but nope, she will go for long note 2 to see if she can shut the door on Zoobin, who has been an absolute gauntlet in this tournament. And here we go.
Classic Pursuit by Sysmix. LN2, 2 minutes 18 seconds. Not the longest map in the world, not the shortest.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how this one will go for both sides. Only 2 minutes, not really much time, and I feel like for Zoobin, they need to keep their combo intact. They need to really keep themselves dialed in here, as this is probably the most important point of both of these players' lives right now.
I wouldn't say lives, but you know, tournament-wise, sure.
Yes. That's exactly what I meant. And Maddy gonna get the first break here, but there is still lots of map left to go. But that was a pretty big one, as they're down to that 99.4 while Zoobin and 99.7, and they actually trade that miss back, but Maddy's in that high 98 range now.
this might be a chance for Zoobin to capitalize on this map. There is still more than enough of the map to, change things, but right now Zoobin getting that early lead.
But Zoobin's starting to give up some 200s here, and now a slider break, and now that will head back into Maddy's favor by only 1,000 points. They have done a very, very good recovery of that accuracy, but rushes on that speed section and immediately flicks back to Zoobin as it's off of pure act. But right now it's Maddy with the combo, keeping them in the game. It is 1 miss equals death, and right now Zoobin is going to be back up at that 400 combo cap. That lead will start to solidify in their favor. But Maddy right now also challenging here.
It's all about just that accuracy right now. Both players dropping 200s. Maddy finding that miss, that's unfortunate. But finding another miss, that's giving Zoobin a massive score rate of 20,000 points. Maddy's struggling on this part, finding a lot of pace. Down to 97.
It is a 1 miss equals death situation, and unfortunately Maddy getting that chain reaction of breaks down Zoobin. 40,000 points in their favor. They can take a slider break here. It won't matter, as it is a pretty huge accuracy difference. Zoobin can ride into the sunset here, knowing that they have 1 more day in for this tournament, and they take a break point.
What an upset. I mean, wow. Sleeby Maddy just finding those breaks on those last patterns, and that's just all it took for Zoobin to find that breakpoint, giving him another chance.
I feel like if I'm Zoobin here, I either go for one of the Rices. Either Rice 1 or Rice 3. Rice 3 would be very funny to see, because that map, it's a double IL song. So if you know how their song making really goes, very polyrhythmic, lots of changing timings, and that's pretty much how that map goes. But we're gonna have to see what Zoobin wants to go for. I don't think they want to gamble on speed 2. It's probably one of the Rice picks.
Question is, which one will it be?
I feel if Zoobin has learnt Rice 3, or at least put a few attempts into that map, that could 100% see it. But if not, it might be Rice 1. And it's gonna be Rice 3.
Oh, just as you predicted.
This is a very funny map. And Zoobin's going full gamble on this map.
Will it pay off? Will it pay off? It's an all-in bet.
Oh my goodness.
I'm on the edge of my seat right now.
Yeah, I am pretty much like ready to just like jump out of my chair and have an insane like reaction to whatever happens here, because this map is going to be insane.
Oh, is that my Wi-Fi?
No, that's okay. We're back.
That's fine.
I think it might have been Discord just being a bit funny. Either that or the stream just having a bit of buffering issues. But either way, we're back, and yeah, Zoobin really put it well. This is pretty much of a gamble of a pick, just because, like I said, these time signatures changed. The polyrhythms are absolutely detrimental to get down to a T. But right now, Zoobin and Maddy are pretty much apparently virtually tied according to our score meter down there.
That's nothing really going on. It's all about just the ratio.
Yeah, right now I think the ratio is benefiting Zoobin right now. I think because they're running off of a singular 200 right now, as these flams can be the run killer as they kind of just appear out of nowhere.
Certainly so. Half the map has passed. There's still quite a bit left to go, but it did seem like Zoobin just about like 200s, giving a lead of 1,000 points to Sleepy Maddy.
Yeah, and right now, Maddy just holding on by this little bit of lead they have here. It is a 400th of a percentage difference right now. And it's just, can these players hold 300s better? And right now, I think it is right now Maddy, I think. It is a difference of a singular 200 right now. But Maddy rushes on that stream, and now it's back in Zoobin's favor.
Raiding 200s left and right. Zoobin finding another 200.
The Flam's getting Zoobin, and now it is 1,000 points in favor of Maddy. There is still this very brutal ending with these Flams, but it's only Zoobin. It's only Zoobin finding these trip-ups, and if nothing changes, Maddy will run away and will take one last breakpoint and send Zoobin packing.
I am just speechless. How do you even describe that?
Oh my god.
What?
That is insane.
That is crazy. Whoa. Sleepy Maddy taking it home.
And
just 2,000 points.
Just gotta just let it just sink in for a second, because oh my goodness. It doesn't even need to be a tiebreaker to know that we just watched probably the highlight of the weekend. And Maddy going to send Zoobin packing as they have just punched their ticket into the podium, a potential podium placing match against Spanner Dude tomorrow at 19 UTC in exactly 24 hours or so. Not, well, 23 now. But still, tomorrow at 19 UTC, we will see the amalgamation of the final 3 players. Who will take that final podium spot? Will it either be Sleeby Maddy, or will it be Spanner Dude? We're gonna find out then.
That's a good question. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, but this has been a match and a half, and we will be signing off now, because the next conditional match for that is apparently set for 19 UTC tomorrow. So unless some scheduling happens or whatnot, just pay attention to that. But for now, I've been Arisani, commentating along with treeidk. Do you have any more closing remarks?
It's an incredible match, and that's all I can really say. Yeah. Thank you, and goodbye.
Yeah, we'll see you all later. Your car is wrecked.